So what are some other things going on with the athletic program, and particularly your basketball team this summer?
June's a big month, man. You know, we got a lot of sports going on, and it's mainly the winter sports, baseball, basketball, and softball, girls and girls basketball. But we practiced the first week 5 days, and then we went right into play dates. I mean, it's gotten where now, Al, if you don't do anything in the summer, if you don't play, if you don't go to these play dates, you're behind, and it's like another season. And this summer season, we played like 14 games, went 11-3. Our guys played well. They got after it. Like, we weren't able to put a system in, but our guys had been in it for a while.
Yeah.
So it was good to see them just play a little bit, and then see that they can play outside of the system, because sometimes things don't work out the way it does. You know, just like life.
Sure.
And you have to adjust to it and play. So our guys really did well when they don't understand it yet, but they understand how to play. And I really enjoyed seeing that side of it.
Yeah. Where all did you guys play this summer?
We started out at West Alabama. We played there. We played at UAB. We played at our place. We hosted one, and it was a really good one. We beat some good teams. Really, we beat Parker, and really when I saw them, I thought, good. And yes, when you look at them, look at us, you probably think, no, we're probably down. They're probably favored 25 or so, but we were able to pull out one against those guys. But then we came after that. We went to Gunnersville, and we also played one at Snead State with Coach Patterson up there, and it was a great time. I mean, it's and of course right after that we went to camp. But back to our summer season, I mean, really that's a good time for our guys, because you get to interact with our guys, and it's not really the season, so it's not as, I don't want to say it's not serious, but we can talk on the bus now, and we can't.
Little looser.
Right.
Yeah.
So to hear them have fun and enjoy it, it makes me feel better about, them enjoying the program, and plus me enjoying them, and them seeing me in a different light, because they think I'm this jerk.
Yeah.
And I've always not been that guy. I've always been the other guy.
Yeah.
And I'm a prankster, you know that, and I love to have fun. And it was good to see our guys see me in a different light.
Yeah.
It was good for us to interact.
So you
and
think
get
it's
closer.
a positive thing overall?
It's a time to build chemistry.
Yeah.
Player, coach, and also player. So right now we got 12 guys that really love to play. They really like each other. So. I'm excited. We lost some key guys, man, but it was exciting to see our guys have fun.
Yeah. When did all this play date stuff start? Of course, I've been retired for 15 years, and we didn't have that kind of stuff when I was coming through. But when did all this start?
When I was at Hueytown, it really became a thing. Well, actually, no. Let's go back. It was 2000. I can go to the exact date. 2017, the year before we won it. It really became a thing where you could play. The rules had changed where you can play. So many games in 3 weeks. You only get 3 weeks, and inside those three weeks, you can buy anything you want. You can practice, you can play. And you can play as many games as you want during one day. So we tried to fit in when that rule came out. We tried to fit in like 20-something games, which is stupid. And the more I did that, the more stupid I felt. And our kids were dead tired. Our kids, it's a time you can get your kids injured too. So that's the last thing you want, especially for kids that are going into football, that are good football players. So I've cut it down. We only played, like I said, 14 games this summer. Felt a lot better. Our kids were loose. They felt good. Of course, we had 2 injured, and it was 2 key guys injured before we went into the summer season. But, in 2017, it became a real big thing. And 18, it was bigger. And that was the year we had Jason, Isaac, and that's why I remember it so well, because there's an article that came out that summer, and that article makes me remember when it started real well. And articles can cause problems. Like 78 Magazine here.
Yeah,
it causes issues, Al. But no, you've never done that, Al. But I haven't either.
Wait a minute, you were on the cover, weren't you? Hang on.
That caused problems.
What problems? Modeling gigs? Was that the thing?
Oh, hey, I couldn't stop. My phone it wouldn't quit ringing. My wife was upset about this situation.
Yeah.
Women were coming at me from everywhere.
Yeah, all over the globe.
They were all 65 and over. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
But I remember the article well, and it said, "Who is better, Jace or Isaac?" Which like, they didn't care. They were just good friends on a good team.
Yeah.
And but it caused issues. And
Yeah.
it didn't cause issues with them,
Yeah.
but it caused issues outside,
Sure.
which did not disrupt our chemistry because
Yeah.
we won it that year. So it was a good thing.
So moving into 25, 26, what do people need to know about the team? And are y'all going to do the Jasper Classic again? Is that going to be something
We
that y'all
are.
do every year? Great tournament, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's,
First class.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot because I tell you, our city does a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Greg Crow, the owner of Booster Digital Displays, he does the score tables, he does the scoreboards, he does the jumbotrons, the walltrons, everything. He puts a lot of money and time and effort into this, and man, we can't thank and appreciate that guy enough. I met Greg back in the coaching's connectivity, you know that, and you connect with a lot of people. And we connected back in 2008 when I was at Door, and he was at ACA, the head coach, and we've been friends ever since. But he comes in and he helps me get these teams in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to do that because he lives in Tuscaloosa, has no affiliation with our school, but it's just out of friendship. And just a great dude. That we were able to bring in some good teams from out of state these past few years, and we brought in Myers Park, of course, and we won the classics, which they were number 2 in the country at that time, which was really cool. But you know, that's been a really big thing for our city, and we're looking forward to this one, and we're looking forward to this next season because our guys are young. Get ready for a young group. You know, we do have a couple of veterans, but those veterans are young. But you know, then you have Caden Steiner. Caden's a veteran of 4 wars. You know, it seems like, you know, here he is in year 4 and he's beat up again, and the dude's just a warrior. I can't say enough about Caden Steiner. He's just an unbelievable person. He's I don't want to say he's perfect, but he strives to be perfect in everything he does, which is a flaw as well.
Yeah.
And we try to tell him, hey, mess up, it's okay. And not in a worldly way, but on the floor, take more chances, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
And because the dude's explosive, and he's had some injuries, man. They've nagged him since his sophomore year. So, but he's back and he's leading. Gosh, he's leading guys well. And Darrell Johnson's a new guy. He played JV last year. We got a lot of JV guys, but you'll see a 6'4" long athletic kid that can play. He's a clown sometimes to deal with, but he's a good-natured kid. And man, I tell you, Brody Garrett had a great summer. Yeah. Brody Garrett, you know PA.
Of course.
Think of PA and think of Brody. Total opposite ends of the spectrum. Here Brody is at 6'1", PA's over here, but he's got PA's grit. Yeah. You know how gritty PA was when he played?
Played catcher, man. Played on that team right there, the Jasper team.
Dirtiest guy on the field every game. You know, just had dirt all over him. Well, Brody's the same way. He's a junkyard dog. Yeah. And I can't wait to see Brody have a good year.
And another great kid.
Unbelievable kid. Yes, great. And these kids that, you know, that I'm mentioning are kids that have been saved and baptized. And man, they're kids that get people to church. They're kids that lead, just not on the floor, but outside of basketball. And I can't be more proud of guys like him. Yeah. And he's come a long way. And then you got Keaton that's coming back. He'll be a sophomore coming off a season where he hit 126 threes, which broke JB Beatty's three-point record. And you know, I had the three-point record for attempts.
Of course.
And misses.
Of course,
but no, that's not true. But I would fog it up, and Schumacher would yank me out pretty quick. But I had a quick trigger. But Keegan had a great year. He shot the heck out of it this year, and so when we go in the gym now, people know him. Yeah. And so it's going to be a little different. So we're going to have to do some things different to get him open. So we've got a plan, and hopefully it'll work. But I think Keegan, he understands like his opportunity to get open. It comes with being in shape, and being in shape means being healthy and being able to run and cut the whole game. And sometimes you got to use people as screens, even when they don't screen. So he's learning that side of the game, something that he didn't know before. So, and he's a young kid. People, they keep forgetting the kid's just a freshman going into his sophomore year. He's only 16 years old. He's been driving since he was 12, but it's okay. In Carbon Hill, you can do that.
And he's what, about 6 feet, 6'1"? Is he going to grow?
I think he
anymore?
will.
You
His
think he'll
dad,
get up
played linebacker at Auburn or defensive end at
Okay.
6'2", 6'3", something like that.
So he's got some room to grow, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he's going to grow definitely in size and in every way. I think he's a guy that can grow in IQ, just like the rest of the guys can. Our biggest thing in our system is having grasping a basketball IQ.
Yeah.
So.
Going back to the Christmas Classic last year, one of the things that I thought you did extremely well, of course, the event was so well organized. I was so impressed with it, but you allowed me to participate in a variety of ways. First of all, I did my first color commentating. Bart Heitch and I did that. Bart did the play-by-play, and I did the color. But then you just invited me over there to do the starting lineups during one of the games.
Well, and you spoke too.
Yeah, and I spoke. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
you did a fantastic job. I still remember, and I've got notes on your speech.
Yeah,
I take here when you get older, you get more boring. So I take notes when I hear somebody speak.
Yeah.
And if it's a motivational speaker, or a preacher, or a pastor, I take notes. I got notes of every sermon.
I'm so glad that you asked me to do that. I know it was last minute because you had a cancellation, but I mean it was like I felt like the Lord just opened that up, and
well, it was fantastic. What you said was so spot on.
Well, man, I mean, like this is the thing, man. Like when you get up in front of a bunch of 18-year-old kids, like. I mean, you look out there and there's 150 kids out there and you got about 12 teams. It can be intimidating, and I mean, I really had to dig deep to try to get my confidence up at that point.
I want you to know that was a very good speech you gave.
I appreciate it,
incredible.
Man. Appreciate it. All right, now we've got kind of the basketball out of the way. I want to get to you personally because I mean, we could sit here and bore people with a basketball discussion for 2-3 hours. I mean, you and I could probably talk basketball all day, but I want to know more about you. I mean, you and I have been friends.
Know me, man.
A long time. I mean, like I just when I think about our relationship, I mean, it goes all the way back to like Little League baseball. I mean, I just remember like, I mean, you were a little bit older than me, and I mean, but you made such an impression on me at a very early age, and we ran around acting crazy and just having a good time, But I do want to know about you personally, and there's a lot more to you than just basketball. Now I do want to start out with the shoes, okay?
Okay.
Let everybody see what we got, what we're rocking today, and I put mine on,
I love yours, man.
Yeah.
By the way, I
My
really like
brother-in-law
those.
gave me these. I love them. They're like street Nikes. Or
I like those, man.
Yeah, they're fire.
I can't pull off the high tops because I'm not 6'5" like you.
Yeah.
I'm good with those, man. But
you're a low person. Yeah.
In several ways, you're right.
Right. All right, so tell me, how did this start? When did this obsession start with low top? Is it low top Jordans? Is that what it is?
Jordans in general.
J's, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, Al, it started for me, and it's at an early age. My mom and dad didn't like my shoe obsession, but I started really in 1986, 87, when the Jordans came out. Maybe 80. No, that's probably 89. I had the first pair.
Yeah.
And
the Jordan ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dude, I wish I still had some of those, but I collected hard as a 9th, 10th grader, and then I stopped for a while.
Yeah.
And started again after college. And
because that was a big deal back then to get a pair of shoes. I mean, you had like the Jordans, then you had like the Bo Jackson trainers.
Yes.
You had the Reebok
the Air Force Ones, Reebok pumps.
Right.
Yes.
I couldn't afford it. I had to get Stadias. So
the Cougars, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Pony.
I love the Cons. You remember the Converse Cons?
Yeah.
I was a Converse guy to start with when I started out coaching, but I really just fell in love with Jordan because he's as a player and a person. I thought you couldn't frazzle him, man. The dude was just kind of cool all the time, in every situation. So I kind of wanted to mimic him, even though I don't look anything like him, or I'm not near as swaggy as he is. But I love his style, like I love his shoes. So I started again after college, and then when we got married, I had a yard sale and sold every one of them. Dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. And I sold I probably started I probably sold 60 pair, really, for about 10, 20 bucks.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, man, this is great. I'm making money. Then I look online because that's internet started about that time, and I didn't know how to turn it on, of course, and I turned it on, and I found out how much they were worth. I'm thinking, you freaking idiot. And they knew it. Those guys knew they got me, you know. Right. But I sold the best.
But you've built it back up. So
yes, I did. Yeah. You know, I started again. I tell you, when I started when I was at Cordova. No. This goes back to Dora. About 2009, I started again, and I started small collecting, and then really started heavily collecting, and again, hard, trying to find every one I could find in about 2016.
Okay.
And right before we went to the championship game, I thought I had a good collection. I never said, no, I don't. Like, I'm going to really collect now when I got this job at Jasper.
Well, how many do you have? I mean, what's our total up to now? I mean,
I don't want to tell you, man. Okay. You're gonna ask me to borrow. What size you wear?
I'm a 13.
Oh, you're fine. I'm a 12, so you can't wear mine.
Okay.
I'm at. Jeez, man. I got 2 new pair coming in, so if you count those.
Do you order them online?
Well, I do, and we need to edit that out because my wife's going to kill me when it's probably coming in right now as we speak. I can check my phone.
Yeah. Get back to the house quickly. Get to the house before she gets back.
But those 2 make me at 143.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a cool room for them.
Yeah.
That my wife allowed me.
Yeah.
Well, no, she didn't allow me to have half of the. No. Yeah. I would say almost the whole room. Just the closet's hers. Yeah. But the room's mine. It's pretty sweet.
Y'all may need to build on a new wing, like for the.
I would. And
yeah.
she's not gonna go for that. You know, and I don't blame her. I try to respect her boundaries. I don't get near her clothes, and she doesn't mess with my shoes.
Yeah.
But she has started a small collection.
Okay.
My daughter collects now, so I think it's a cool thing for us to connect.
And she's a high top, right?
She is, man. She can pull it off. She's a tall girl, and she's got a little swag to her game. And dude, it's cool to connect with, be a girl dad, 1, 2, to connect with them in some way. And coming home to coach was awesome because I got to connect with her more. And, I thought our relationship was able to expand. I cannot thank Jasper enough for allowing that opportunity.
Yeah,
and
cool.
I tell you, man, the Lord has really blessed my family, even though we've experienced a lot of hardship in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Man, just I can't tell you how much we've been blessed, but it's been cool to connect with my daughter.
Yeah. Now let's go back to the shoes for a second. Now, do the shoes, when you're getting ready, do the shoes drive the outfit, or does the outfit drive the shoes? I mean,
Outfit
which one
drives the shoes?
Okay. So you get the outfit ready, and then you.
But you notice that, all right?
Right.
All right. So you notice the pants, the shorts, right?
Yeah.
So it's all together. I've got to look. And it's got to match, the shirt, belt, shoes.
It's the whole presentation.
You got to.
You match belt and shoes up every time?
Absolutely. If I don't, my kids will remind me, hey, coach, you don't look, you're not matching.
Yeah. Now, you'll go white belt, won't you?
Not as much no more.
Okay.
It's kind of, I will, but I don't near as much. So, and they don't have Jordan belts, they have Nike belts, so I'll go with Nike belt.
Yeah. So. What made you phase the white out?
It just doesn't, it's not me.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to look too, like, when the kids put pearls on their shoes and all these little diamonds on I think that's kind of wearing a white belt. So I'm thinking it's kind of a sign saying, hey, look at me, so I don't people look at me like
now,
that.
when we did the photos that time for the magazine, you had the ankle socks on. Are you still rocking that?
Absolutely. No socks. Ankle or no. See, none today. I've got beautiful feet.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. Beautiful feet. So I like showing them off.
Let's keep talking about swag. I mean, like, when you go into y'all's locker room and then, your office as well, I mean, man, you've got it dressed up. I mean, like, it looks incredible. I mean, I've never seen an office and a locker room that looks the way that you've got it decorated. So when did this start? Why is that important that you make the facilities the way you make them?
I think we just, I think we make our jobs as important as you want the kids to think their program's important. So I think it's important for me to show the kids I'm invested, I'm all in, and I think the more I do, the more they love. They love it. They love the light. They love the
Jordan
shoes,
stuff.
They love the Jordans. They love the stools. They love everything about our locker room. I mean, the more we do, the more they appreciate, the more they work, the more they see that we do. Honestly, the more we care. They don't care how much you know. They care how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
Yeah.
And once they see that you care about the program, you care about them, and they'll kill for you. And our kids love what we do. And if they didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. So, and really, honestly, Al, and this is not a shot at anyone. When I got there, I don't know why, but it was very filthy. Mm-hmm. I wanted the kids to see the first 2 weeks of me doing nothing but clean. Mm-hmm. And I did nothing but clean. Pizzas, cookies. I mean, there's no books that had been there since the year they opened. Like, I just cleaned and I pressure washed. I had to pressure wash that locker room. And there was a lot of work and grit that went into this. You know, it wasn't just given to us. You know, we worked for it. And our kids deserve it. Our kids deserve a nice locker room, a good place to put. You know, and here's the thing I don't know if I should say this, but, you know, at Hueytown, the buildings are a lot the same. All right, so that wing right there at Hueytown, and like other schools, you got the varsity locker room here, and right across the hall is the JV locker room with the ninth. Well, that's wrestling now. All right, I don't know how that happened, but it has JV basketball and ninth on the outside. So this might be a way to get my locker room back for the JV ninth because they deserve something too. And I know the varsity. You know, you need to work your way up, but. You know, I want those guys to have something special too. And right now, they have their locker room in the PE locker room, which I don't like because they should have that locker room because that's what it was built for. And right now, you know, we are finishing up a shoe closet for our guys, and it's cool, man. You wait, you come over and see it. Destiny Vice, you know Coach Vice, dude. She is a gem. She's awesome, dude, and she's talented like you wouldn't believe. Like she can draw, she can construction, like wood work, like anything you need. Like she builds gazebos, like anything you need, she can do it. So right now she is constructing in my shoe room. Like we put down hardwood, and she's painting the floor like our floor, and then we put these floating shoe shelves in, which have lights. And that reflect down through the ends of it, and you can't even see the shelves. The shoes look like they're floating, and all you can see is the light. So it's really cool, man.
Do you think it matters more to kids now that you do stuff like that than back when I mean, like we didn't have a whole lot back then. You know, like I mean, our locker rooms are just like so plain. They smelled terrible.
Right.
You know, I mean that's not to disparage anything. I mean, I just think that's kind of the culture we live in now. Growing up, my first pictures of Little League baseball, like I was wearing my George Brett cleats. I was wearing here's my first jersey. Look right here, first jersey. Cotton.
Oh yeah.
Cotton.
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
Is that Songer's team?
That's it. I don't know who this.
Bill Songer coached. I mean, he coached the Bears one year.
Yeah. But this was it. I mean, cotton shirt. You know, some pressed on numbers here and jeans. I wore jeans and we didn't have anything.
Right.
Now, I mean, when we walk into the ball field, I mean, we've got to pull a trailer.
Oh,
to get in there. You know, so is it just a sign of the times? Is it kind of the culture that we're living in? You know, but at the same time, you want to do something special for them. You want it to be different.
And that's the thing, social media has driven so much, and kids see that. So kids think that's the way it's supposed to be. And, you know, in reality, it's not, because we might not have that, but we are going to try our best to make sure that we're giving these kids every opportunity they can.
Yeah.
Because they might not get it again. And, you know, we try to make this a Division I type opportunity, you know, and because there is a kid or two like Miller Moody that will go on and play in college. And I want them to say, like they said for Isaac and Jace, they're ready. You know, they're ready to play at this level because they played a high level of high school basketball. They learn how to play defense. And that's the biggest thing with us. We think when you leave our program, you might not be ready for the offensive system because, man, you know, there's so many different systems these days. There's so many different ways you play. But, man, it's a sign of the time. The times have changed, Al. You know, getting that jersey out reminded me, like, we were passed jerseys down to the next group below us. Like if you're in Bronco, you went to Pony, but the kids in Mustang got the Bronco uniforms. Right. You remember that? Oh, yeah. So I wore the bowling center. You remember the Jasper bowling?
Yeah. We were Shoney's.
Yes.
KFC. Yes. Well, it's Kentucky
Jasper
Fried Chicken.
Decorating Center had a team.
Yeah.
Every
corporate sponsors.
Right.
Oh,
every business in town had a team.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool thing. Caden Camp's daddy.
Yeah.
Had a team. Dr. Camp. What were they called? What was that place called on Airport Road there? The clinic there.
Yeah.
Something clinic.
Like Jasper Family Clinic.
That's it. Like that. They were red and gray. Man, we were so tight knit. The community was so close back then. And it's sad to see it grow, but it's cool to see it grow. But I sure would like to see, the town or the city like it used to be.
Yeah, and one of the things I remember was like you always had your picture in that Little League thing in the Daily Mountain Eagle.
Oh, cool.
That was
thing.
huge.
Yes.
You had your team picture, and it would be like Lupton All-Stars, Thatch All-Stars, Jasper. But when that came out, it was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so huge. Like you looked in there, you're like, oh, there we are.
Yeah. And you hear about that kid that's really good at Thatch, and now you put your eyes on him. I want to beat that kid right there.
Right. Oh, yeah. And
cool.
Nabu and Lynn were always unbelievable,
It was always neat, though, because we looked, like you said, we looked forward to it, man. And it wasn't just baseball, it was everything.
A big deal. Yeah.
Our community always made everything a big deal, but it's different now. And the community still helps. They're just as involved.
Yeah.
But, it's just, when I go to the mall now, I don't know a soul. I don't know anyone. When I used to go to the mall, because it was a big thing.
Are you a walker? Are you a mall walker?
No.
You're just going to get your Jordans?
No, they don't have. They have the Hibbets. Yeah, you're right. But I love Hibbets, by the way.
So you said the word prankster, and earlier before we got on, I said
that. Yeah.
I said showman. Okay, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you like to make people laugh. Okay. I mean, you do. You don't mind performing sometimes, I don't
know about that.
Where did this come from? Now I've seen some dance videos that Katie's posted, but where did this come from? I mean, because you and I are very, very similar. And look, man, I mean,
you're better than me though.
When you grow up in Jasper, I've said this. You're either at 0 or 100.
Right.
And I there was no 50. And so. But where did this come from? Just your sense of humor, your ability to make your desire to make other people laugh. And I don't say this is a bad thing; it's a good thing.
Well, I've always thought it lightened the conversation, it lightened the mood of things, and I don't know. I just I want to have fun. I don't want to live life. And sometimes I had too much fun, probably, and I know what you're probably thinking. Some of the things I did was outrageous, outlandish, and it was. I probably should be dead for some of the stuff I did, but I always wanted to have fun, and I have a family full of people that have fun, and in a good way, and it was always in a good way. My uncle, my dad, I mean. Very witty, with things they say. You have to think about it for a second. Were they serious? Were they yanking on me? But it's usually janking on me. And they don't use that word anymore about the word jank. That was our word.
Well, we're too old for that.
Right, but I think that comes from my family on my dad's side was a very humorous family. Still are. I just lost my grandmother / aunt this past Monday, and that's another story. But she took over the mother of my dad when when my dad was 2 when his mother died. So she was his big sister at 17. She quit school, got married, and became a mother to my father and his brother. And she passed. So she was my grandmother. And our Christmases and Thanksgiving, I don't know how it's going to survive now, but man, we had so much fun. Every Thanksgiving we would meet, have a great time, and then make a fruitcake for Christmas, and then open it up and eat it. But nobody wanted to eat it because everybody would just throw stuff in there, And we just had so much fun. We'd throw wrapping paper at each other as hard as we'd wing it. We had some guys that had good arms in our family, so we would wing it, these wrapping paper at each other while we're opening up presents, and it was just a thing everybody did. And my aunt would say, "Stop it!" and then she'd grab one and she'd chunk one. So they'd have a good time. I remember, playing basketball out in the backyard with my uncles and my dad, and it would come to blows, man, blows, and they'd laugh while they're swinging. I was like, "This is crazy. I don't want to get hit, but here I am. I'd go to blows too." I don't know. I guess I got it from that side of the family, Al. But I just, when I'm with my family, and I'm gonna tell you, my wife's family is just like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we connect so well. She's a prankster. They scare. I'm walking around pins and needles. I'm like this all the time because they scare me. I'm big into scaring people. Hiding and jumping out. So, and we got this going on right now. They scare me every day. I mean, I'm
in your own house.
Yes, I'm terrified.
Okay.
I am terrified because I can't walk around the corner without getting them jumping out at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly in thought. I can't think because and they scare the pee out of me. But
Now, this is when you come home from work, or
it's
could
every
it be in
day.
the morning?
It's
It could
every
be in
day.
the morning.
When I wake up, look out. Here it comes.
Somebody could be right here.
So
Yeah.
and I probably initiated this. I started a while back.
I would suspect.
And then there's this little picture that a kid at Cordova made of me when he put red hair on me, and it's a goofy picture, but it's a big poster though. So I put it in my wife's car. So when she opened the door, she saw then she got a little upset, and so she comes back with a really good one. She puts it in Mary Beck's yard, like how you running for mayor. There's a sign out there, Josh Gates for mayor, or Greg Ferris for mayor.
Yeah.
Well, there it says Heath Burns right there, but it doesn't say nothing. My picture's out there.
Yeah.
So
is it currently out there? Or?
No, it's somewhere else now. I hope she found it by now.
Yeah.
It was in the fridge this morning, so she's found it by now. She probably opened it and saw it and got mad and threw it because she's at this moment the joke has went too far because we're at 2 weeks now.
How big is the thing? Is it?
Oh, it's a good.
Kind
it's waist high, so it's I would say 3 foot by.
How'd you get it in the fridge?
It's flat. I
just kind of
sat it in there and stood it up. So when you open it, it's going to fall on you. And what is that? She's not going to be happy with that. So Oh, and you know what? Actually, that was yesterday. I got it. It's when she goes to her car today. She's going to see it as she rounds the corner. There it's going to be. So she's going to get and throw it. She threw it in the woods the other day.
Now, does Molly Kate jump out and scare you?
Oh gosh, she's the worst. She's a prankster, dude. She
probably takes it to another level. I mean, like
she goes stupid like me. She does. She loves to dance, and I love it too. I've always loved to dance.
But she's quiet too, though. I mean, like she's just quiet, kind of.
She's quiet
in
around.
Public, but when she's at the house,
yes, she goes.
When she gets comfortable.
When she look out.
Yeah.
She's we're at Walmart and the other day, and I thought, dear God, this is me right there. She said, "Hey," to someone, and it turned, and she jets down an aisle. They looked dead at me. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you back though, dog.
Yeah.
Remember that." So she's just like that. I've done that to them so long. I think they've said it's time to get Dad back, and they are wearing me out. They're teamed up, man. It's not fair.
We used to remember when back in the day when like the Baptist church would have like Six Flags and then like Braves game and things like that. Well, we love to go to Six Flags, and so me and a couple of my buddies we would go through Six Flags, and we would be walking, and then we would like jump out at people. At Six Flags. Like I remember one time a buddy of mine like did like a barrel roll and then jumped up and scared these girls. And now I'm sitting there thinking like, you can't do that anymore. I mean, I'll get arrested now. I mean, I'm so embarrassed that I did that.
I used to jump in front of girls that we liked and do push-ups.
Yeah.
You remember that? Act like I'm exercising, so that was a big deal, to get everybody to laugh. And there's the thing, I shouldn't say this. I get, that's
we can edit. Just go ahead. I mean, we'll
I wasn't scared, to play a joke or ask a girl out or this. Kids these days are scared. I'm like, dude, like, do you know that 99% of the kids are scared? What if you're that 1% that goes and asks her out? She's gonna say yes.
Yeah.
She ain't had a date. She wants a date.
Yeah.
She's dating a girl from Meek or somewhere. Like, dude, go ask her out. Don't be scared. Hey, and then I'll say, hey, come here. He's been talking about you. This is he.
Those Meek guys are good guys.
But they're okay, I guess. I mean, but I'm just throwing a little bit at them, I guess. But anyway, I love embarrassing my guys.
Oh, yeah.
My kids, they love it. And,
Yeah.
and I'll introduce them to the girls, and I'll say, "This is the girl you've been talking about, right?"
Yeah.
Coach, no, Coach, no. I said, "Yeah, it is. Now here she is. Talk to her."
Right.
Oh, it kills them, man.
Yeah.
The girls are laughing. They're red, and we have fun at school
Yeah.
too. So I'm a prankster everywhere now, Al,
Yeah.
because I'm getting old and I can't move and do push-ups anymore.
Right.
I can't do the prank myself. So I'm either getting others to prank or I'm doing it in a different way.
Now, speaking of girls, you've had an incredible mother, Rita. What an incredible person. I mean, what an just salt of the earth Christian lady.
She's an angel, and I'm sitting here at 52, and I can tell you this: I've never heard her speak a bad word about anybody, ever. And it's weird that other day after we were talking, after my aunt/grandmother passed away, she said, "Isn't it?" We're talking about like taking on others' mannerisms, and she said, "Isn't it odd that you're more like me now?" And I strive to be like her because, dude, I'm alive because of that woman. I can remember, and I'm not proud of it, but I was a bad person, for a long time. And, by God's grace, I'm here, and by my mom's prayers. I remember coming home late at night and not caring about anything and seeing her on her knees praying for me. Mm-hmm. And because she caught me, I'm caught sneaking out again. Here I am sneaking the car out doing something stupid, and there she is praying again. Mm-hmm. And she just prayed. So I asked her, I said, "Well, Mama, why'd you pray so much?" She said, "Heath, I was praying because I wanted to make sure you made it home alive, one, and two, I was praying that God will change your heart before it's too late."
Yeah.
And she's just an angel of a person. She's a praying warrior. Every time I talk with her, it's personal stuff, but she goes into, what's really important, our relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the year we won the state championship. She really triggered the thing that we thought was important. She said, and I was negative, and I try not to be sometimes. And she reminded me. She said, "Hey, son, you got to understand, you've lost a lot of kids, right?" She said, "But God, if He's in this, what's little, if God's in it, makes it really big." Mm-hmm. So she had a saying. She said, "Little is big when God is in it." Mm-hmm. And we just kind of talked about that as a team. And I remember one of my kids saying, "Coach, whatever it takes, man. Little is big when God's in it, whatever it takes." Mm-hmm. And the guys kind of took it on. It was cool. It was really cool. So my mom was a big part of that state championship run. And man, she's I love my mom. I'll say that. She makes me emotional because it's rare that you see somebody that's so good and so positive about everything, and she doesn't, how, and I'm so glad that, in the Bible we talks about how God, doesn't remember sin, and she rarely remembers that part of you. She gives everyone a chance, and how many people judge us by just what they've heard, and I've been bad about that before, So I try to mimic her, and because I know if I do that, I'm doing the right thing. And she's been a solid person for me, man. And I'm here today because I'm living proof of what God can do because of her.